Welcome, boys and girls. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which state I currently find you in. I'm coming to you today to talk about a video game that's already actually been out for a couple of months. Now, the reason why I hadn't done a review on this game up until this point is I actually had forgotten that it existed and that it was a thing until well after it came out. And I spent some time playing it, and I felt that it was worth calling attention to this game and letting people know what to expect with this game and what I thought of it, because this was an interesting scenario where Electronic Arts, a AAA publisher, actually helped get this game off the ground and getting it pushed through and released by the developers Coldwood Interactive. Now, Coldwood Interactive is mostly well known for winter sports styles games and haven't actually released anything in about 7 years. So it's been a good while, and but they seem to be coming back and coming back strong. So without going too further into things, let's get right into it with the options menu for Coldwood Interactive's Unravel. So here we are at the options screens. We have the settings, which is the master volume, music volume, sound effects volume, share usage data, which is good for you to be able to, good idea for them to give you the option to turn that on or off. For those of you who really don't want to, you can of course turn it off. Most people won't care. We have the controls with keyboard. Odd style of menu. The gamepad, which does offer rebindable keys for both, so that is good. The graphics, however, we have depth of field, low or high, anti-aliasing on or off, no idea what type, VSync on or off, textures high, medium, or low, resolution. So very bare bones, basic graphics menus, which is actually somewhat of a surprise coming from Electronic Arts being the publisher. Usually their menus are typically a bit more robust than this, and there are quite a few things missing. However, with this type of game, it may have been one of those things where they made a judgment call. What do we really need to see in this game as far as graphic settings are concerned? Which the answer to that would be not a terribly whole lot based on the type of game and the overall graphics being pushed here. There's not a lot of hardware requirements, and they're pretty light. So I think they just made the judgment call as they don't need to program in all those different options, and so save themselves some time and effort. And overall, I think probably in this instance it may have been a good judgment call. Unravel is a puzzle platformer released in February by Coldwood Interactive via EA's Origin. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Coldwood Interactive, they have previously only done winter sports style games such as Freak Out, Ski Racing 2005, and Ski-Doo Snowmobile Challenge. So this game is a distinct departure from their other game style, and this is the first game released from these developers in the past 7 years. Now, in Unravel, you follow along with Yarny, an adorable little yarn doll, as it embarks on a series of adventures to recapture the long-lost memories of a family. Now, I have to admit, guys, right off, that puzzle platformers really aren't my forte, and as such, I might not enjoy this game as much as other people might. However, you know, that does little to change the fact that I love this game. I really do. The interesting graphics coupled with a minimalistic, silent storytelling process make for an interesting experience. Now, those that are fans of puzzle platformers will probably find this game rather simplistic in nature, leaving little to be surprised over. For someone like me, though, I did find several of the levels rather difficult and required multiple attempts. With multiple levels and a variety of puzzles to solve, this game does manage to keep itself interesting while managing to maintain a steady increase in difficulty without becoming too overwhelming for those that aren't accustomed to these kind of games. Full of secrets to be found on each level, the game does warrant multiple playthroughs if you're a completionist. Aside from that, though, I don't really see the draw for multiple playthroughs if you're not a platforming enthusiast. The graphics, you know, they are about what you would expect for EA's first venture into a AAA publisher backing an indie game, I put in quotes. They are superb. For the graphics overall are superb for this kind of game and managed to pull off a very charming atmosphere. Because of this, I would fully expect Yarny dolls to be on the shelves at some point around Christmas. Now, this game itself, as far as stability and everything like that is concerned, the game itself is extremely stable. I didn't have a single crash or even a noticeable bug or glitch within the game itself, which, being this was published by a AAA, is somewhat of a complete fucking shock, you know? Usually there's something wrong with the game, but here I couldn't find anything. I was actively looking and I was able to encounter no bugs. So the developers did a really good job here. Fantastic job. The controls themselves, though, this game really was designed for a gamepad. You know, an Xbox or PlayStation controller would be the preferred method here. It does have keyboard functionality, but you know, I definitely had a better experience with the gamepad than I did with the keyboard and mouse. Now let's talk about the story. Now, without giving too much away, the game uses that same old method of using pictures to help force emotions in the player in order to further its narrative. I can see what they were trying for here, and it fits very well given the main character is a little ball of yarn. But this type of storytelling has been done so much lately that I'm concerned about it becoming an overdone method. And honestly, I found myself flipping through the pictures without feeling any real sort of emotional impact. Most of the time you just feel a bit of disconnection between Yarny and the purpose of the game. So I do feel there is a distinct certain something lacking there from the story, which it takes away from the overall narrative a little bit, and the game gives you much less impact than I think it was really trying for. Aside from that, though, you know, guys, my complaints for this game really were exceptionally minimal. Basically, the only thing I could really find wrong with the game was the lack of emotional impact that I found in dealing with the story within the game itself. Everything else, as far as a puzzle platformer goes, it's a good platformer. It does what it does well. It's got good graphics. It's extremely stable. I've encountered no bugs. And overall, it's an enjoyable experience. And Yarny is adorable as hell. He really is. So, as far as EA's first venture into a smaller title such as this, I think it went exceptionally well, and I really hope that they feel emboldened from this to try these sort of test beds in the future, and hopefully we'll start to become more comfortable with these smaller games as opposed to these giant AAAs that end up completely fucking bombing like Battlefront EA. So, you know, this is Unravel by Coldwood Interactive. It is $20 or your original equivalent on Origin. It is not available on Steam currently, and I haven't been able to find any indication whether or not it will be offered on Steam. This may be an Origin exclusive. But if you guys are into platformers or into just an adorably cute character, this one is definitely worth checking out. So, with that being said, I am the one, the only, the always, SidAlpha, and I'll see you guys next time. Hi there, boys and girls. Thanks for checking my video out. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even that subscribe button. Trust me, it works really good. Don't forget to share with your friends, and if you're interested in following me on Twitter and Facebook, the links for that are in the description down below. I also have a Patreon if you're interested in helping to support the growth of my channel, and the link for that is down below as well. And once again, thanks for watching and supporting my channel, guys. I really appreciate it.